We talk about leadership, but it's in between the stuff that it shows up. So we've got all the speakers here, but Charlotte, great talk around cybercrime, and I forgot already. Sean talked about his stuff in his journey through his different careers, and the other, Paul's obviously did a talk around IOD, and it's very easy when you look at the slides, you think it's all shiny and great, but it's what you do in between what you do is what true leadership is, and how you turn up. So I'm going to show you a little, it's big, I've never seen that big. Right, but it's cool. But I'll show you a short video about what I do and then I'll explain a bit more. There's going to be some interactivity, so I'm going to call upon some of you to come up here in the stage. I've already told the people, some people already know, and those don't know already, but you'll be coming up. Because the whole point of leadership, yes, but it wasn't going to be you, is now, is how you show up. If you don't show up, no one's going to notice you. But it doesn't mean you have to show up by shouting and wearing glary things. You just got to show up in terms of your personality. It wasn't that funny, I promise you. Okay, right, here we go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please have a big round of applause for your host and MC for EMC 2022, Baiju Solanke!
Yeah, today, what's your goal for today? You're looking at the speaker lineup, what's your goal for today? So the only reason you cannot reach your potential is interference. And there's several types of interference, but essentially, it's what happens here in your mind. It's the conversation you have with yourself. So when we come here, we don't show that vulnerability, because the things that are stopping you, the thing that's stopping you is something that happened, here. Doing well. Welcome everybody to the Entrepreneurs Marketing Conference. My name is Baiju Solanke. I'm your guide, your host, your MC for the next 3 days. And my goal and my aim is to make sure that every single one of you get the best of this event. Let's stretch! Back, here we go. And to your right, to your left. And two, and we're here. Lisa Johnson is our next speaker. And I'm going to say one thing. During lockdown, in 1 week, she made £3.5 million in sales. And next speaker it used to be a children's entertainer. You're going to be so entertained and you're going to learn a lot. He's been running several businesses. He's created a £30 million portfolio of businesses. And I want you to remember that £1 million Camelot email you got? That kind of vibes. Please, can you give it up for Mr. James Sinclair? Let's give it up. Round of applause. My invitation to you, 2 things you can completely control, you think you can't, never be late for anything, and don't complain.
So, you enjoy that? I did, it's the first time I've seen it so big. So the last 2 things I said, do you hear what I said there? Never be late and never complain. And that's my 2 tenets in life. There's 2 things that we all want more of. We want more time and more money. One we chase, one we abuse. There's a couple of speakers haven't turned up today, have they? One speaker haven't turned up today for whatever reason. Some of the students didn't turn up. Woody Allen said, is 99% of success is just turning up. Because once you turn up and you're available, stuff happens. And what I'm going to show you today in terms of leadership is like where it starts with yourself. Some great talks today in terms of people talking about what leadership is in terms of communication skills, in terms of mindset, in terms of visibility and people's journeys in terms of where they started. You have to go uni, not go uni. But at the end of the day, and a lot of the last speaker said about there's no one mold of leadership. It's being yourself. But then you can say, well, what is being myself? If I asked you who you are, I don't know who I am. I'm grey. I'm still learning. I don't know who I am. How many of you know 100% what you want to be doing for the rest of your life? Put your hand up. Just be honest. How many of you? Just one? Great. 2, 3, right? Fantastic, right? Who here sort of knows, but just sort of see how it goes? See? And that's all of us. And who here haven't got a clue? And literally, do you know what? I might step out there and something, oh yeah, these two, exactly. I didn't start so my background, I used to be, my degree's in psychology. I did a degree in psychology. My first job was a psychology lecturer. Then I was in corporate sales for 9 years. And then I started my own business back in 2007, probably when some of you were born or not. I can't remember now. Yeah, probably. So I've been running my own business since then. And my whole job is about how I get a kick out of helping people be the best version of themselves. So this is my tenet. I don't believe that any of you know your true potential. So I might say, you might think I can be this good, right? I see this just above you. I see always more. Because we can't see ourselves because we have stuff going on. And I'll talk about the stuff. And I talk about games. So in life, there's 3 games that are constantly at play. When you're watching the speakers, you're probably looking at them thinking, wow, there's a question about why he changed his job. And you want some really profound answer about, new opportunity. No, it's just a better job. To move to London, right? Sometimes we need to be too profound. And Charlotte talked about her life. She did genealogy, and then she started doing this forensic stuff and then cyber. Why did she do that? Because she didn't get a great service from police. If her case was listened to and dealt well, she might not have opened the charity, correct? Yeah. So we might think, it's a big plan and stuff. I guarantee you, a year before she started getting the trouble online, she never even thought about the charity. So sometimes what happens, you step forward, something occurs, and because of that occurrence, you change your mind. And it's okay to change your mind. But in life, there's always these 3 games occurring. And game number 1 is the inner game. So in your head right now, every one of you are thinking, some of you are thinking, oh, look at his tattoos. Not even listening to me. Why has he got a t-shirt, not a certain tie? Maybe he's thinking that, maybe not. God, that lunch was all right. So there's always something going on. God, look at Charlotte's hair. Wish I was brave enough to have pink hair. So there's always the inner game going on all the time. And we try and overcomplicate it by saying, we've got this big strategy and plan. Did Paul dream of being the IOD director? No, mate. He didn't. Right, did you? Flip it over, But what happened was he joined the IOD as a member, liked what was going on, did a few other bits and pieces, then it got to the point where they're looking for a chair and he became a chair. Did you dream of becoming a teacher all your life? No, see? No way. What was when you were 13, mirror in your bedroom, huh?
I was going to be a nun.
A nun? No, you weren't. I don't think so. I won't go there. But no, what did you want? Did you ever say, what was your thing?
It was all of them, yeah.
None? What? Yeah. And if you were true to yourself, if you're true to why didn't any of that happen? Why not? Be true to yourself. Why are you honest enough to say to these guys here?
I think one thing makes you happy, so you go on a journey and you figure out what your strengths are and what does make you happy.
Yeah, that's the political answer. Do you hear that? That's the political answer, but that's not the answer she'll give if you had a couple of glasses of wine, right, on a Saturday night. If I ask her what really, maybe for whatever reason, the environment around her made her feel like that's not the right thing to do, or actually it's too risky, right? Go and get a safe job, go to uni. True or not? Yeah. Oh, is this interactive, Paul? Not yet, you ain't. You got a question?
Yeah.
Go on.
So I wanted to be an astronaut.
Astronaut, right? So Paul's highlighted something over here outside his control where he couldn't be an astronaut. Maybe, maybe not. Or the first thing it starts is your belief, your inner game. Do you believe you can do that thing? What are you smiling for? What are you thinking? Tell me what you're thinking. Yeah, what are you thinking? Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, you can have a book for free. Right? It always starts there. So some of you might be having a dream, but you've already convinced yourself, ain't gonna happen. Because you might think you're not good enough. Your parents are not gonna support you. Your teacher's gonna not support you. You've already made up the narrative, which is a beautiful, sexy, gorgeous excuse why you can't follow that dream, which is fine. Then it comes, the second game we play is the strategy game, the roadmap. We talk about, okay, if we're going to do something, what is the roadmap? I was speaking to a young man, where's he gone? Kenneth, where's he gone? Where's he gone? There he is, over there, right? And he wants to be a cinematographer, making films. My younger son's at uni and he's doing film production. So all of a sudden, is there a clear path there? Well, could he actually just get his phone, little camera, and make movies now? Could he do that? Yeah. Has he got the facility right now to publish it so everybody in the world can see it? Yeah, he's got YouTube. Remember YouTube? Yeah, okay, good. Right? So he could. So the barrier to entry for him being what he wants to truly be, there is no barrier, apart from his conversation in his head. He might, not good enough, who's going to see my stuff? I'm a shit editor, blah, blah, blah. Do you get that? There's nothing stopping him now. By the way, 1st September is going to be his first move on YouTube. Sorry, it's going to be out there. Now, if someone will see it, it might be good, no good. It doesn't really matter if it's good or not. But the third thing that needs to happen is the thing over there, the outer game. You've got to take some action. You've got to be consistent in taking action. If you don't take any action, nothing's going to happen. Sit on a mountain, kumbaya, and that's all you do. Nothing happens. Right? So I didn't have a clear path. I didn't know I wanted to be a coach, an entrepreneur, run my own business till I was about 30, 32. And then it took me 5 years to walk the walk, because I talked a good game for 4 years. I can't do it. I'm not ready. It's too sunny. It's too wet. The economy is no good. I've got responsibility, kids, a mortgage. I had all these beautiful, gorgeous excuses lined up why I couldn't. And then you get to a point whereby enough's enough. So I eliminated those excuses, and then I left my job and started my business. That's what leadership is. We can have all the titles, we can have all the mindset stuff and all the rest of it, but that's what leadership is. But what's in the way? So you mentioned you want to do, yeah? What is that?
I want to be a civil servant until I'm 25.
You want to be what, sorry?
Civil servant until I'm 25, then I'll become a Labour MP.
Look at that. Civil servant till she's 25. So how many years is that till? 9 years. So you're 16. 16, right? So 25, she'll be a civil servant. Any specific department? Does it matter, really? As long as you just want experience in public service, yeah? Then she has a goal whereby she wants to be a Labour MP at 25. Do you know which one you're going to stand? It doesn't matter. Now, the thing here, right, it doesn't matter if she doesn't achieve the goal. The point is, she has this focus about what she wants to do. So she will take a few steps to becoming a civil servant, right? She will get into civil service. She'll think, yeah, I'll have some of this. I like this, right? And then she'll step into another bit more civil service. Oh my God, it's a lot. I can't change. Nothing changes around here. It's all very slow, isn't it, Robin? Right? Nothing changes in civil service, right? So that will make her think, you know what, sod this, I'm going to go private sector, or I'm going to be the first MP that makes some changes, right? So in 9 years' time, the odds are, if you go on the pendulum in terms of Tories might be back in by the time you become an MP, because the next election, Labour will be in, whatever you think, even if they're rubbish, right? Then there's a pendulum thing. They might do good or bad, depending on the next election, 5, 6 years, and then so you might be the next Prime Minister after the next one. But the good thing about this, there's a mindset she has, right? But failure won't, if she doesn't become a Labour MP, it doesn't mean she's failed. Do you understand that? It means you get focused. I was speaking to Kenneth earlier and you said, I'm possibly going to get the video out soon. What's wrong with that language? Is it defined? Is it certain? There's no, I'm going to put my video out. There's intentionality. So when you do anything, ask yourself, am I being wishy-washy just in case it screws up, I don't want to fail, or I'm being intentional on what I do? You get that? So I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to get some volunteers there. I'm going to show you, where's my pen's gone? So every one of us, I'm going to show you this model. Every one of us, right, let me show you this model. I know you can't. Oh, the pen's not working. Where's the pens? Where's the other pens, Robin? I got one here. Let me see if this is working. Let's see. Right. I want to show you this model, right? Now, as we're growing up, so what's your name, young lady? Daisy wants to be a Labour MP. That's what she wants, right? And in her head, she goes, what I want to do, I want to do public sector for 9 years, get that experience and go into politics, yeah? Great. Who else said they know exactly what they want to do? Who else put their hand up? There was a few others. Who does? You. Yes, sir. What do you want to do?
Study genetic engineering with CRISPR.
Right. So at its core, we have certain diseases that exist because of genetics, correct? We have certain diseases, all of us, doesn't matter about our diet, our lifestyle, that occur in our body because of genes, correct? And what you want to study is the area of genetics that allows us to be more informed about how to deal with those diseases, correct? That was good, isn't it? I'm not even a scientist. I'm pretty impressed with myself there. So you can see there's a goal there, and there's probably a certain, is there a certain, what kind of degree? Is it a generic degree or a specific degree? Right, so can you see, based on the 3 games, his mindset's very focused on this is what I want to do, right? Can you see the roadmap? Right, he's got the roadmap. There's probably, I could do a master's, but I could go here, I could go here. So he's left it open, right? And then there's certain actions you've got to take in place. Now, guaranteed during that time, there will be obstacles. There'll be times where he feels, oh my God, I got rejection from a uni or I didn't get the grades. But as long as his focus over here is so clear, we'll find a way. Same with Daisy. Daisy will find a way. She might not get into the civil service. And she might think, actually, do you know what I do? If I work in a charity, it's a similar sort of thing. I work in charity, so I get to understand how to work with people, get to understand what people's needs are, and then go into. So there's different routes to politics. Do you get that? Who else said they were focused and they knew what they wanted to do? There's someone else. Who does know? You say you don't want to. You don't know what to do. You have no idea.
Like a smidge.
Go on, what's a smidge? She has a smidge of an idea. What's
Like, I know what course I'd want to do.
Go on.
Geography, I think.
For what end purpose? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? So if I had a gun to your head right now, so, do you know what? You need to answer. Choose a job or a career. What would that be?
Someone who, like, I can't give you, like, a specific one.
Yeah, to give me.
Someone who travels. And,
So imagine if I said to you, I'm going to pay you to travel, but what you need to do, you need to stay one place for 2 weeks, explore all the bits of it, explore the good parts of this country and the bad parts. And at the end of 2 weeks, I want you to write a 2,000-word article, which I'm going to pay you for, and do that for the next year. Would you do that? Yeah. Great. That job exists right now. You know that.
never really thought of it.
Right. Think about that. A travel blogger. What's your name? Ava. Ava. So imagine if you went home now and bought a website with the domain name avarobertstravel.com. Right? And then you phoned up and a traveller and said, right, would you sponsor me for a year and I'll make sure that your logo's at the bottom of my blogs every time. All you need to sponsor my travel. And I'm going to go to all these places. I'm going to review the hostels, the good parts, the bad parts, where families can go, where teenagers can go. I'm going to write an article where I've put all your links to your website and you've got to pay me. That happens right now, right? He's thinking, I'll have some of that. So all of a sudden, just by thinking something laterally, you're smiling, you want to do that as well. So I'll have some of that. So there's different ways of looking at different. Sometimes we have this notion of looking at a certain way. So a model I want to show you, right, is in life, we have a list of things. This is have, right, we want. We have a list of things we want, right? So at this stage, at 17, a lot of us, well, I want money, I want a relationship, I want a nice car, I want a home, whatever it is. You have a list of wants that you want in your life, right? And even some of us, right, Charlotte's got a list of wants and we all got a different list of wants. Depending on the stage of our life, for some of you might want, because so you might look at your course, but there's probably only 3 unis in the UK that do this course, but there's one uni you really want to go to. Is there one uni? You're smiling, there is. What is that uni? Huh? Oxford, right? So you can say, right, Oxford is the uni I want to go to. Oxford are here, they're not going anywhere. And Oxford will say, we need 1, 2, these 3 things for even consider you as a place. We'll consider you, once we consider you, we then need this for you to get in. Do you get that? So that's clear, he knows what, it's up to him now to do what he needs to do. Do you get that? It's up to him to do it. Now, if you were saying, do you know what, that guy today, Let's Talk, Mum and Dad, he said, I'm going to buy my domain name, right? So all of a sudden, I'm really going to do this. But what kicks in, what if no one wants to sponsor me? What if I go to the first country and I get lost and I get mugged? And we start to catastrophize about what could happen if I fail. So this is what happens in life, is we have this want, and these are all our wants. And immediately, when we have a want in our life, we say to ourselves, what do I need to do? Right? You want to go to Oxford, right? I want to go to Oxford. What I need to do is get certain grades. Do you get that? Right? You say, okay, I'm going to be a travel blogger, right? I'm going to buy my domain. I'm going to phone up 10 travel agents and see who sponsors me, because that's what I want, right? You've said, Daisy, about being a politician, right? So she's got a certain path. Do you get that? So all she's got to focus, she knows what she wants is there. I don't have to think about that anymore. I just focus on what I need to do. I want to go into public service for 9 years. And then once I go into public service, I become a politician, find a place, etc., etc. All right? And there's probably canvassing she's got to do. She's got to put her policy out there to make sure she gets the seat. And we do this. So we constantly, and then other people we might have say who's I don't know, who here has got in a relationship? You shouldn't be. We should be. I don't know. Who's in a relationship? Anybody? I know you are. No, but any of the students here in a relationship? Anybody? Right. You are. You've been living a life, haven't you, Daisy? So she's in a relationship, right? She probably wants certain things from the relationship. So where our mind goes, when we have the want, we immediately go to the do. And our life, and this goes for adults as well, and I guarantee we're speaking to all the other speakers, is once we know what we want, we look at do, our life is want, do, 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 want. That's our life constantly during all the time in the day. We wake up, what do I want today? I want to go out and have a good time. Right, I need fun with my mates, I'll go for a drink, go out to London. What do I want today? I need to pass my exams. Right, all I need to do today is revise for 6 hours, take a break, another revise. So our world is constantly oscillating between what I want and what I do. What I want, what I do. How does that feel? Does that feel inspiring? Tiring, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It feels knackering. But that's what you live your life like. Because we never ever get to this bit, which is B. Because essentially, we're doing this to be happy, rich, successful, or whatever it is for you. So for you, you might say, the reason I want to go in politics is because I want to serve the world to make it a better place. Yeah? I want to help people make sure that they live the life they want, and I want to do that through politics. And for you, young man, you say, okay, do you know what? This epidemic of genetic disease is not being addressed, right? There's so many diseases out there that can be addressed because we don't understand, only because we don't understand genetics, correct? So what I want to do is that, so that I can be this. But we never get there because we're constantly working here, because most of everybody here lives from the premise of what I want. Do you understand that? So imagine now, from here on, like everybody else said today, is to be the best leader is you've got to be yourself, right? You've got to be the best version of who you are and how that turns up, right? So, Kenneth, you talked about films, right? Deep down, you might be sitting in here in the room of a Hollywood director. We don't know that, right? Or a filmmaker. Or you might be sitting here in front of someone who's going to be a Nobel Prize winner to solving genetic diseases. And you might be sitting here in the room of the next Prime Minister. It could happen. It could happen. We don't know. And you'll remember this talk in 20 years' time when, oh, the next Prime Minister is Daisy, or the Chancellor, etc. You'll be like, I remember that girl. This guy talked about this thing, right? And like she was there. But you don't know. Because we don't know now, because we can't join the dots up going forward. We can only join the dots up behind us, right? But the only dot you can create is what you've got here now. So imagine this, from this moment, instead of saying, I'm going to walk out this door, focus on what I want, start here. Who do you want to be, right? Do you want to be a catalyst for change? Do you want to be someone who's going to be the top genetic scientist? Great. Do you want to be someone who inspires other people to travel around the world? Okay, how can I do that? Do you want to be someone, what do you want to do, my friend?
I'm not 100% sure, but of course I want to do.
Go on, what's the course?
Business and economics.
And say you get business and economics, say you get a first class degree, what would be your, right now, be an ideal job?
Investment banker.
Investment banker. So can you see, just through my questions, did he hesitate by saying investment banker? No. So if I said, yeah. So if I gave you a job right now to be an apprentice investment banker, would you take it? Yeah. So knowing what he knows now, he wants to be an investment banker, right? Now, his reasons are fine. So you've got to ask yourself, right, knowing to be the best investment banker, who do I need to be right now? Right? Do I really need to go uni? Do you need a business? And I'm not going to tell you which direction to go, but the question to ask yourself is, knowing what I know about investment banking, is doing a degree the best route? Don't answer the question, ask the question and see what people say, right? Because I can tell you there's a lot of investment bankers who've got degrees and there's a lot who haven't got degrees, right? So who do I want to be? And then you say, if I'm being this person, what do I do? If I'm being this person, what do I do? Not what do I want? So being the politician isn't the goal, is that's the role that will make her feel she's changing the world. Does that make sense? Yeah? Being a cinematographer is something that fill Kenneth with joy, which means that his art form makes other people feel happy. Does that make sense? And that's it. And we overcomplicate this thing. We overcomplicate, focus on what we want. Because when we attach ourselves to something we want and we don't get it, that's where upset occurs. Right. So this is the model. If I can just, oh no, wrong. Yeah. This is the model here. So you can see here is remember the inner game stuff I talked about here? Right, the inner game, the context you live your life. The context I live my life is I get a thrill. I live for helping other people reach their potential. Where they think their potential here, I see just above, right? The vehicle I do that by, how do I do that? By speaking at events like this, by writing books like this, by doing speaking events, by coaching senior leaders, CEOs, working with them. That's the vehicle I have. But who I'm being, the context of who I'm being, is someone who's helping others achieve what they want to do. And the vehicle, so I don't attach myself to the want. What I want is for you to follow your dream. But when you walk out here, the odds are I'll probably never see you again. Hopefully I do. But if I don't, it doesn't matter. I don't need to know whether you've achieved your dream. My job is just to turn up. So when Robin said yesterday, oh, we've got about 100 people, last week got 200 people. If I come and say, oh, there's only 50, oh, what's the point of me being here? That's not fair on you guys, is it? It's not fair on anybody. So I've got to turn up where I've got to turn up to do my duty. Right, before this, right, let's have a few volunteers. Right, so I need 5 volunteers. So Kenneth was going to volunteer and Kieran was. Right, so you two are going to volunteer. So can you two come down? I need 3 more other volunteers. Who's going to volunteer? Or do I have to pick? Right, okay, you. I know you two, but I've got 2 boys, right? I need sorry, man, look, equal ops and everything. I'll be done. I'm filming everything. I can't have not. So I need two girls. Any 2 girls. You want to come down? Yeah, you come down. Yeah, who else? One more girl. So come on in. Right, okay. So you sit there. You sit here. You sit here. Right, you come at the front there, can you? All right, you sit here. You sit here. Right, and then you sit here. Right. Okay. Right, in life now, get this right. I only thought about this exercise during this morning's talk. I've not done this exercise before in this format. I've done the principle, but not in this way. So you've got a dream, right? This young man's got a dream. Tell the people your dream.
To be a cinematographer.
Right, okay. So what kind of films?
Sci-fi predominantly.
Sci-fi films, right. So what's your name?
Miles.
Huh?
Miles.
Miles, you're going to represent his parents, okay? And I want you to be serious now. Think about, right, imagine Kenneth is your child and he's got this dream, but you're a parent thinking, oh my God, that's too risky. So now I'm going to ask you some questions in a minute. I want you to think about what you may say to him because you're thinking, oh God, are you sure, right? Kieran, you represent his teacher, right? Yep. So he's come to you with this dream and again, you're going to be, hang on, that's all good, but you want to put a few things in place. So whatever you want to say in a minute, I'll ask you, all right? You represent, what's your name? Debbie. You represent his first employer. So it might be sort of first proper job or maybe sort of Saturday job or something, right? And all you're interested in him doing the job for you, right? So again, I'm going to come to you and ask some questions and I want you to just respond to him in terms of whatever you want to say after I ask you some questions, right? Your name? Eloise, right. Eloise represents the opportunity that's going to give him his big break, right? So she could be, I don't know, represent a studio in Hollywood. She could represent some, do you get it, an agent? Do you get that? But in order for Kenneth to get to this point, he's got all these things to contend with. Can you relate to that? Now, some of these things could be good. So, you're his parent.
Yep.
What do you want to say to him?
I just think it's too risky. It's not guaranteed. You're not really going to get anywhere. I mean, how do you know you're good enough? Have you got the stuff?
Okay, cool. Is there anything unreasonable that mum and dad have said there? It's not unreasonable, you can understand. Yeah? How does that make you feel?
Annoyed.
Annoyed. What else?
Frustrated.
Frustrated, yeah. Can you relate to this? So what's going to happen? So then you've got, the thing is, right, you love mum and dad, right? You don't upset them, right? But you're coming from a point of view of, trying to protect your child, which is great, superb. So number one thing's got to tell me, come over here. So, teacher, responsible teacher. Can you have said, careers advice, I want to be a cinematographer. What are you going to say?
Very risky industry, very competitive industry. I don't think you have the grades to do it. You don't work hard to do it.
All right, calm down. Settle down, young man. You can destroy him in a minute. How does that make you feel? The teacher saying that.
Put back.
Yeah. See, put back. We talked about resilience earlier, and resilience was about without purpose, it doesn't mean anything. Can you imagine now, say his dream was sort of want to be a cinematographer, and it was like, 50% I'm there. After these two bits of genuine advice, they're not trying to put him down, where do you think his percentage is now? Where do you reckon? 20%. Right? He's not even got to the first employer yet. And this is what you've got to contend with, guys. The path to hell is through good intentions. So they intended well. So all of a sudden, remember the inner game stuff that's going on with this young man. So if his dream's not strong enough, he might at this point give up. Do you get that? Right, it's come for the first job over here. It's not directly related to his industry. So what do you want to say? He's been working for a week into your employment.
Are you really sure you want to do this? Like, you don't even know if you have a future in it yet. And you have like a guaranteed job right here, and you can stay here forever if you want, but you don't know if you're going to have a future or anything to do with that.
That's a good angle. So you've got a nice steady job there, paying you good money. What's he working? What's the job?
Subway.
So is he making the subways, or is he taking the money?
He's making the subways.
Oh, okay. So you're working in Subway, young man, right? Good wage, free lunch. What more could you want? And you're trying to have this dream about cinema. How do you feel?
Makes me want to push past it.
Oh wow, good. Because his angle's quite good, right? You've got one less sandwich maker. All right, okay, good, great. Okay, come over here. Right, you're his dream ticket. Right, you're his dream ticket, and you need to be convinced that he really wants this. What are you going to ask him?
Well, you'd ask about that previous employment first, because if it's a big industry, I'm more likely to ask someone who's had past experience than someone who's worked at Subway.
That's all right. I'm just saying. So how would you say to that?
Or I'd give him a chance and go the other way.
Imagine now you had a library of YouTube videos. Imagine that. Amongst all this, in between all that, you're making your own movies. You had all these YouTube videos, and they've got, 10,000 views each. What could you say to that now?
I've got the evidence to back it all up.
There you go. Can you see that? Just in between all these things. Right, let's go back here. It's another scenario. Now I want you guys to be completely, imagine that, what's the best thing he's got? Just completely the other worst, right? See how you feel now. This is a different universe, right? The Harry Potter universe now, right? The other universe, right? So he's got this dream. Mum, Dad, what can you do?
Oh, I think it's absolutely amazing. You're going to do fantastic at it.
I love you. You see that? How does that make you feel?
Encouraged.
Encouraged, great. Right, teacher.
You definitely got the determination, the work ethic. I definitely think you're good enough to take this industry on.
How do you feel?
Inspired.
Right, so before 50% over here, you said it was 20. What percentage now does he feel like doing it? Yeah, just through words. Even though you know it's a make-believe, some of you feel like, yeah, all right. You're quite, I'm have some of that, yeah? You know, right, employer, what you know, Subway, what's happening?
I'm very proud of you. You deserve it, and you definitely will get a future there.
Fantastic. And do you want him to make a film for Subway as well?
100%.
Right, okay, good. Right, his experience-wise, you're not sure, but you see something in him.
He's got the job.
All right, he's got the job. Great, well done, guys. Go back. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Yeah, I'll put the chairs back, all right? Don't worry, guys. I'll put the chairs back. Right. So can you see? That's the first time I did that exercise in that format, right? I've done that exercise before, and I do that exercise in this way. When I talk about, so how many of you can relate to where a loved one has not, their words they want to encourage, but it's sort of making you feel like, do you know what, are you sure? Can you relate to that? Yeah. And that's what you got to contend with. We can come here and put these shows on and put loads of slides up and tell you what we do and it's all a linear path. It ain't. It ain't. And I promise you now, they'll be going home and they'll have imposter syndrome going on. They'll be thinking, oh, did I get away with it? When they got the call from me to talk, can I do a talk? I don't know, can I? Right? Because most of them don't do presentations, you know, as their everyday things now and again. So they've got to find somewhere. Even though it was make-believe, did it make you feel like, oh, yeah, right? Because of this, is every one of you is born, we're born a perfect diamond. We're born this perfect sort of baby when we come out of our mum and then our parents are there. But what happens is this, is as we grow up, we're contended with all this stuff. Teachers and parents saying we're not good enough, saying we can't do this. We're told that, you know, we're the loners, etc. And those little things, so when mum and dad said here, it's too risky, even though we might sort of dismiss it and carry on our dreams, it stays with us. It stays with us. And the biggest battle that you're going to have in terms of your careers and your life is not the next employer. It's not the university personal statement application. It's the conversation that comes in your head. Saying, are you good enough? You sure you can do it? I went through some stuff last week that made me feel like, whoa, I'm not, you know, it wasn't that I wasn't good enough. It was more about, I felt frustrated with stuff. And when I start feeling frustration, what happens is I go down to this place where I start questioning my own ability. And when I question my own ability, it means I stop showing up. So if you search me on Google or Instagram, on Facebook, I've got a fairly healthy profile. I'm not no celebrity, but I've got a fairly healthy profile. And you'll see, I'm giving you some honesty here, right? There's a direct correlation. If I post frequently, you know I'm in a good place. If I don't post, you know I'm not in a good place. Because the very nature of what I do is inspiring others. But what I've learned to do is when I'm not in a good place, I'll still post. Because when I put stuff out there, it's not about me, it's about the other person. So when we go through life, we have this level of interference, right? So this bit here is when mum said, are you sure? This bit here is the teacher Kieran represented when he said, oh, it's too risky. This here is when Miss Subway said, oh, you really want to do that job, you know, you want to do this. And then when you get in a big wide world and when you see all the presentations today, this happens. You put this veneer on of looking good, right? There's a veneer that all of us have out there of looking good. So you look at someone else, you think, God, they've got nothing, they're all right. They're sorted, they look great, their hair's nice, they've got makeup on, they've got a nice suit, they've got no problems. Look at Paul, you look at Robin, look at me, you think, oh, you've got it sorted. Promise you, we haven't. We haven't got it sorted. And the reason I say that to you is this, is do not ever feel intimidated by thinking that where someone else is at. And leadership starts with you, where you're at and what you want to do. Do you need to know what you want to do in life? No. Does it help if you do? Yes. But it's okay not knowing. Because in the exploration, when you go on holiday, you go and explore. When you explore, things happen. Right? Daisy, you said you're in a relationship? The person in a relationship, where did you meet them? At school. At school, right. And the day you met them at school, you knew them the day you become an item, the day before did you know them? You didn't know them, right? Yeah. Because sometimes we met, let me just get, you in a relationship? Yeah. Where did you meet your partner? Wife, husband, whatever?
I met our Friends Reunited.
Look at that. Friends United, right? You had an account. That's all gone now, isn't it? Flipping hell, you're showing your age, my friend. Flipping hell. So if, say you didn't have an account on Friends United, the odds of meeting her? There you go. 0 or slim?
Yeah,
0.
I'd seen it, we were friends 10 years
Right, okay. So it came up. I'm with you. Partner, are you in a relationship? Where did you meet him or her?
Gaming online.
Gamer, right? So if you weren't gaming on that day, would you have met that person? No. So you get that. So most big things that happen in our lives are called as sliding door moments, not because we planned. So many moving parts in our lives. So the key is what you can control. So if you know what you want to do not let anything get in the way. If you don't know what you want to do, it's okay, but don't be scared to explore. Because when we stop exploring is when we stop living. So this looking good thing is great, but this stuff that's happened in your childhood will keep popping up. And don't be afraid of that. Embrace it. That's why. There's nothing wrong. Who heard the Dele Alli story last week, right? Dele Alli heard that story? Even if you're not in football, you should hear it, right? Now, the thing there is, it sort of explains the reason why his football career went off the railings. A lot of people sort of knew something was going on, but they didn't know what. So what they come up with is their only reason, he's lazy, he's this and that. But you have no idea what's going on in someone's life. You don't know what's going on in their stories. So sometimes we compare and judge others, but whatever chapter you're on, you might be on chapter 1, you're comparing yourself with someone who's on chapter 5. And it's not a true comparison. So wherever you are in your life, it's fine, it's great. There's a lot of pressure for you as a 17, 16, 17-year-old to try and work it out. You don't have to work it out. Go to uni for only 2 reasons. Because you want to, or you believe it's the best path for you. That's it. There's plenty of ways. Like here, is this white? Is this white ball pen? Permanent. Oh, I shouldn't use that one. Flip chart. Let me get the white ball pen, right? So here is where you are now, right? This is where you are right now. This is you as a 17-year-old. Here sits, right? Here is your future self. Right? That future self is not created yet. You don't know who it is. I'll go ask the ladies. How old are you, my friend? How old are you? Yeah. 49, 52. It's a similar age, right? Similar eras, right? I promise you, at 32, although I might have dreamt what I wanted to be at 52, I had no idea. At 30, did you know you were going to be where you are now? No way. No way, because several things, geography, circumstance, job opportunities. You're like, okay, I'll take that. You don't know what's going on. I don't worry about, remember, failure is not fatal. It's not fatal at all. So if you take anything away when you go from this event is this, leadership starts with yourself in terms of how you turn up in your head and then what action you choose to take. What you can't do is complain about anything you didn't work for, or at least take action around. So what's in between your here now and your future self is those 3 games. How you turn up in your mind, what strategy you employ to get there, and what action you take, and that's it. And when we talked about using mentors, books and everything else, is those things help you, but the application, the implementation of these things is the only thing that's going to get you where you want to get to. So let me finish off. Where's my little clicker? So when we look at that, so this is something I use with corporates, right? But the reason I left this in there is sometimes we overcomplicate responsibility, right? And productivity. Who here, when someone says they're successful, sometimes say they're really busy, right? So I'm going to call Charlotte. Would you say you have a busy life? Right? Do you have a busy life? You have a busy life? Ask me, are you busy? You busy? No. Never. Because I practice this. I don't do busy. I'm never busy. I won't do busy. And the reason I tell you this, what does busy look like? Tell me what it looks like and what it feels like. Huh? It looks like, yeah. Well, what else does it look like? What is it? When you hear the word busy, what feelings come up? Stressful. What else? Are you busy, young lady? Yes. What did you laugh for? Bit to it. The busy bit or the young lady bit?
Yeah.
Right? And we have this notion of, yeah, I'm really busy. You're not that important to be that busy, my friend. Yeah. You're not. You're not. So what does busy look like? Oh, I had a meeting at 9 o'clock, got a Zoom call at 10, got a reply to email at 11, got another meeting at 1, and I've got to write that report. Yeah, whatever. So you're doing the job you love, you're doing the thing you love, and you're busy. Oh, I need a drink at the end of the day. Stop being busy and start being these things, right? So when I'm doing my Zoom, someone said to me, because you've been here all day, you got your talks at 2 o'clock, why are you here all day? Robin contacted me, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. We're doing this event about young leaders. We would like you to come and talk. I said, yeah, sure, let me know the dates and we'll work it out. And as soon as he told me the date, I blocked the date out, right? And the reason I didn't come at 2 o'clock just to do my talk, I'd make it about me. But the reason I came earlier, because I want to know what the other speakers are talking about. I know what the context of the day, so I can give you my best version. I have a framework of a talk, but the context of it is bring other people in. Yeah? So I think today's not a waste for me. Today is a day of contribution to me, but it's an honor for me to come and talk to you guys, right? So at any given moment in my life, am I leading or am I spectating? So if you're running a team or a business or in a career, ask yourself, in that moment, are you leading or spectating? Second part is accountability. How many people come up with excuses? One speaker didn't turn up today, several schools didn't come up. I guarantee when Robin goes to them afterwards, they'll come up with a load of excuses. We didn't have funding for the transport, we couldn't get staff to take the students there, we couldn't get blah, 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 blah. It'd be better not to commit rather than commit and not turn up. Ownership, where's the blame, right? And I promise you, if you start owning every 3 parts of this, your life will be much more productive and much more efficient, and you'll stop being busy. You'll get more done in less time with less stress. And I'll give you that guarantee because I do it, and that's what I teach corporates and entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship all the time. And what happens here, though, you have total responsibility for your life. You can't have any excuse for anything. It's quite a hard line to take, but I promise you, when you do this, your stress levels reduce. So I have 3 tenets. I'm never late, I never complain, I always say what I do what I say. Now, do I break those 3 things? Of course I do sometimes, I'm human. But when I do break those, you think, oh, what's happened? Something really serious happened. It's not just like, oh, because he's not organized or hasn't done anything efficiently, okay? So, this is a great thing to do. Every single day, what shall I start today? What shall I stop? What shall I continue? Simple as that. I've got these 3 books. If you want those books, you can have all those books for free. Click on that thing and you'll get a download. But these 3 books are here for one person here who wants them. And he's getting them just because he showed up, he's put his hand up. And sometimes you've got to be first to the post. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it all.